excited to be starting a new week. So first week of school's over, we're heading to week 2. So we'll be starting, not all the things, but a lot of the things today. First Go Math lesson today, first Reader's Workshop lesson today, first Writer's Workshop lesson today, first counseling today. We will be moving Caitlin to her new apartment coming up this weekend. She is feeling better, thank goodness. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we'll have to see how that turns out. I was just at a desk, so we'll see what happens. My classroom looks really nice so far. I don't have any piles. I made a lot of stuff last night, and I have a lot of stuff to put away. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna get started on my day, and I'll try to catch up with you later. Hi, it is lunchtime. I just got my kids dropped off at the lunchroom, checked my box, delivered a couple of dismissal passes, and now I'm sitting here going, I'm not really that hungry because I ate a breakfast burrito this morning and those are pretty filling. So I think I might just have a banana and get some things ready for later. So we're a little behind on our schedule because I needed to explain the pencil challenge. We went over our classroom rules, which are the 5 whole brain teaching rules. And we did our math lesson, but I just got a little behind because of the extra things, but that's okay. I read part of our book for Reader's Workshop, and so during read aloud time, I think I'm just going to take that time to read the rest of the book and then tell them what they're going to do with the book today. So we're going to be talking about the main character and character traits. So they're going to be using something doing something with something. Isn't that always what we do? Let me come over here because I think I put all my materials over here. Oh, yes. So, I also had them get their reader's notebooks out. They got to pick which notebook they want to use. I put their name sticker on there. They're going to do this. Who is the main character? What problem does she have? Well, in order for them to do that, they need to have read this entire story. So if you have never read this, I highly recommend it. It is so cute. So cute. Super, super fun. At the beginning of the story, I said, okay, do all of you already know this? Like, we don't need our classmates. Do we need to make that a classroom rule? Because we just gone over our 5 rules. Maybe we need to make that rule number 6. And they're like, no. I said, okay, well, if I notice someone gnawing on their friend's arm like a corn cob, then I'm going to know we need to add this onto our rules. And of course, they thought I was being really silly because I was, I've been a little wild and wacky because they need to be used to me. So that was fun. They enjoyed it. A couple of students have read that book before, so that was nice. But many of them had not. So they were completely surprised. And it was a good surprise. They were like, oh my gosh. So we'll read the rest of it after recess. And then, oh my gosh, I'm just out of breath. Then I will have them do their response in their notebook. So that's a flap thing. They'll have to cut it out and glue it like the top of the schoolhouse. And underneath it, they'll write their response to it. And that'll be their first thing in the notebook. I think I'll have them date them too. That way, at the end of the year, when they take them home, it'll be like a little memory book of all of the reading that we've done together as a class. I think that'll be fun. My goodness, I just feel like I'm go, but I'm going to catch up some time, I hope. I don't know. So, the first half of my lesson plans are done for the day, because now we're on the second page. I found out this morning that I do not have to F&P test my new kids, because we're going to use results from some testing that we're already doing with the whole class. So yay. So we'll be starting guided reading groups full-fledged next week after we get the results from the tests. So that saved me some time. I don't have 7 kids I need to pull and test in the midst of everything. That's why I have ugly Sharpie cross-out marks, but that's okay. So yes, I did not get to the writing at all today, but tomorrow I think I can catch up with that because today and tomorrow we're basically some of the same thing. We're going to talk about brainstorming and then how you start writing. So it'll be fine. But I always get behind on the first few days because I'm just not used to the schedule. And you're always having to tell the introductory things. This is how you get your math book. This is how you do this. It's just going to happen that way. You just roll with it, right? You just roll with it. I told the kids I didn't know if we'd get to do our math lesson today. They were kind of disappointed. Then after recess, I was like, oh, hey, we can do our math lesson. That'd be fine. So we did. And they liked it. They thought it was cool. So that's awesome. We got to use our snap cubes for the first time. So they enjoyed the activity we did this morning during our power hour time. I had them tell me what the math tools were for. I don't know if I showed you or not. So I had out a box of pattern blocks, snap cubes, color tiles, and base 10 blocks. And they worked in their groups for about 4 or 5 minutes to kind of play with them, manipulate them a little bit, and then they got to write what they thought they were called and what they were used for, and then they switched to the next place. So then they all got to do all 4 boxes. Then we went to specials, they came back, and I said, okay, let's look at these now. So then I would get out one tool at a time. I would say, what is this called? If they weren't sure, I'd tell them. I wrote it on the board, and I said, what do you use it for? And we talked about how we would use it in our math lessons this year. And I said, these are not all the tools we're going to use, but these are some of the tools that we'll use. So they thought that was pretty cool. Like some of them, they're like, I don't know what that's for. And they went, counting? I'm like, yes. Like the place value blocks, the base 10 blocks, counting, yeah. It's for adding numbers and things, yeah. Yeah, and for showing place value of things, yeah, totally. So they understood basically. I thought that was really good. What else did we do? We've done a lot, it feels like. A lot. But yeah, I've been doing a really good job remembering to write my learning target for the lessons. I kind of got in that habit last year when we started doing it, and then I just do it every lesson. So not hard to remember when it's just part of what you do. Okay, I think I'm going to eat a banana because I have about 5 minutes before I need to go pick up my class. And then we'll finish reading the rest of We Don't Eat Our Classmates and talking about main character. And there's a poster I'm going to put up on the board that comes in the resource that I'm using that talks about what a character is and what a main character is. And then they'll get to do their response thing. And then it'll be time for my friends to go to reading. And when they come back, it'll be counseling time. Then after that, we're going to do a vocabulary and grammar lesson, which is going to be, that will be our literacy intervention block. So they'll already be used to doing literacy things during that time. And then we'll pack, and it'll be time to go home. And I have late buses this week, so they'll be coming in here. So I probably need to move my little table back. I haven't started using that one yet, my IKEA table. I think I'll wait another week till we're in the groove of how we sit. And that's when we're going to start Terrific Kid. So that will be great because I'll have one student at the VIP table, and then I'll have more places to put bodies. Yeah. And I need to get more sit spots. I don't know what I did with them from last year. They were kind of scroungy. I know I didn't throw them away. Maybe they're in my desk. Yeah, I didn't think I saw them in here, so I probably put them somewhere strange. They might be in a different part of my desk. I don't know. Anyway, so now you know what we're going to be doing the rest of the day, so I'll catch up with you when I'm on my way home. See you then. Hello. It is almost 5, and I am so tired. I'm on my way home. Caitlin texted me a little while ago when I was still at school. Well, like an hour ago, I guess. And said, can you get some more watermelon? And I'm like, we just got watermelon last night. Like, it's already gone. So apparently it was a very small watermelon. I never saw it. She and her dad went and got it. So I went to the grocery store just down the street from my school that I don't go to very often. That's the same one I went to last week, though. And I ended up picking up quite a few things, actually. I got some actual food. So I'm hoping I don't have to go to the store again for a while. Oh, I just want to go home after school. But tomorrow we have a parent night. Second grade's presentation is at 7. So the parents go to the cafeteria at 7 for half an hour, and then they come to our classrooms, and then we kind of tell them what their students will be doing through the year, like a day in the life of a second grader, which I've already got my presentation made. We can leave at contract time and come back, but I don't know. It's like a good 45-minute drive for me to go back and forth, so I'm not sure it's worth it. I could just work in my room. Maybe I could work in my closet. Probably not. I don't think I want to dig into my closet and like get hot and sweaty and dirty and then have to talk to parents. So that's probably not the night for that. I don't know. I could do paperwork stuff though. I could get caught up with like lesson plan materials and maybe get some planning done for next week. That'd be good. But our schedule is pretty cooking. We don't really have any downtime, which is good because when you have downtime, students will find something to do in that downtime that you don't want them to do. Isn't that true? So it keeps you on your toes, keeps you moving. They always need to have something to be doing next. Otherwise, they get bored and they come up with alternatives.
that aren't always feasible. Great alternatives. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was a good day though. It was a good day. We really started practicing our expectations. We had a little bit of chitty chatty stuff in line today, which that's normal, but we're going to nip that in the bud because I don't want to be dealing with that every day. Like when you get in line, your voice is off. It's just the way it is. So figure that out. Not a huge deal. They're pretty good workers though, for the most part. I may need to move the desks apart a little more and just have them be in 2s instead of 4s because it's easy to get distracted when you're by your friends. I had meant to print my schedule cards because I got them done over the weekend. But the color printer at school has been doing something weird on the bottom of the color page. It gets all smeary and it doesn't print the whole very bottom of it. So like my newsletter, all the pineapple stuff at the very bottom of the newsletter was all like, I'm like, oh, okay. So I went and told the office ladies, I said, did you know that the color printer was printing funny on the bottom of the page? And they're like, no, nobody said anything. I was like, oh, that started happening last week, like around Thursday. They'll probably need to call the copier repair person to come look at that. Because it's like a formatting issue or something, because it's just not printing it right. Something's goofy. Oh, when I was making some copies while the counselor had my students, I tried to copy some things onto some Astro Brights. And sometimes I put them in the bypass side. I'm like, oh, it's only a few pieces. I'll just stick it in the regular tray and just have it, pull up from the tray. Well, it kept getting stuck. And I'm like, ruining my paper, like bad, like accordion folding it, like it's stuffed in the machine. I'm like, what is going on with this thing? This is crazy. And then it kept saying that there was something stuck in the machine, like there was a jam. And I'm like, looking at the little schematic thing and it's saying to go to letter C. I'm like, I already pulled stuff out of C. There's nothing there. I pulled stuff out of B. I pulled stuff out of C. That's all that was in there. Like, what is the problem? And so I tried again and it did the same darn thing again. I'm like, what is up with you? Like, nobody's been using you. You're not overheated. Nothing like that. The paper's not funky. Like, because sometimes if it's a different, like, paper weight, if it's too thin or if it's too thick, it doesn't like it. Sometimes if it's the wrong paperweight for the setting you have it on, it gets jammed. Which it wasn't. It was just normal paper. So I'm like, what is up? So the second time that I pulled my accordion folded nice, expensive Astro Bright papers out of there and tossed it in the recycle bin, I looked at it and I went, what is that? Because it kept saying something was stuck in C. There was a jam. And I'm like, there's nothing there. So I looked a little closer and I saw a little piece of a label page, the sticker part, like that says Avery on it, had somehow stuck in the machine. And I'm like, that is what's doing it, because it's sticking to the paper and the paper doesn't feed through and then it gets trapped. So I pulled that off and I threw it away and then it worked fine. I'm like, that is weird. That's weird. I guess there must have been just a little piece of it lifted when it went through when somebody made labels last time. And it peeled that little piece off and stuck it to the inner workings of the copier. Weird. So I'm glad I fixed it. But man, I lost like 3 or 4 pieces of Astro Brights before I figured out what was wrong with it. So then I went, you know what? I'm not messing with this. I'm not going to do it on Astro Brights. I'm just going to do it on white. They can color it. But that's the thing. I don't want them to spend their life coloring stuff because they will. There are some students that will be like, I'm not done yet. Because I need to make it rainbow striped. It needs to have 15,000 stripes. I'm like, pick 2 colors and go with it. We don't need a pattern. We don't need it to be a Michelangelo painting. We don't need it to be a Picasso. Nothing. Just color it, cut it, and glue it. So that's why I was going to use Astro Brights to make it fun and a pop of color, but then they wouldn't need to do anything with it other than cut it. I did print the next thing on Astro Brights since I was able to get it to work though. So that was good, but that was frustrating. I'm like, what is wrong with you? And you're limited on time and you just want to get everything done as much as possible because counseling is 30 minutes. Our counselor is a certified teacher, so she can have the class without having the teacher in there. So I take that opportunity to prepare things. Because the copier's right outside my classroom, it's very handy. I just sit on that little bench out there, take my computer, I take my water, I take my phone, and then I'm set. Like my alarms are with me, and I have a beverage, and the bathroom's just down the hallway. Take advantage of that too, because I have late buses. And then I work on something while I'm out there because I want to use my time wisely. I'm like, oh, so frustrating. But I think I got everything that I need for the week done, I think. And if I don't, it's going to be something that's going to be easy to fix. Yep. I'm home, so I'm going to go in and finish my day with my family. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, August 27th. I'm on my way to school. I'm running a little behind today, what I normally do, because we had a really weird morning. So I got up, like I normally do, and went to feed the cats. And I went to feed the outside cats, and they always like to come in the house just a little bit and say hi to the other cats and then go back out. Turns out one of them got trapped inside the house. And I had a really hard time getting it back out. Oh my gosh. So it was freaked out completely. Its eyes were like this. And I'm like, oh no. So I was outside feeding the cats on the deck, petting them, talking to them, you know, filling up their food and filling up the water. And I hear this thump, thump against the windows inside the house. And I'm like, what the heck? So I look, and there's this yellow cat flinging itself against the windows with freaked out eyes. And I'm like, that is not Mango or Pikachu. Oh, crud. One of the cats outside got trapped. It was Cheese. I'm like, oh no. Well, I remember not seeing him out there on the deck, but sometimes they don't all come at the same time. So I wasn't really concerned. But then when I saw a cat jumping against the windows, I'm like, oh, now I know what's going on. So I opened the door. He went the other way into the house. I'm like, because he was just in a panic at that point. He could not even think about how to get out. He was just freaking out. He knocked over all of the plants, spilled the dirt everywhere, so I'll get to clean that up later tonight. He ran around the living room like a crazy cat. I was walking slowly and talking to him very softly. I was like, come on, baby. But he was so panicked that he couldn't even listen to me. Poor little guy. And then he jumped on top of our banister that goes around the top of the staircase, which is open, by the way, and jumped down the stairwell. Now he's downstairs running around like a crazy freaked out cat. My husband's like, what the heck? And I'm like, yeah, good times. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. I needed to get ready for work. My husband needed to get ready for work. Well, at one point, he went downstairs and behind the couch back there. And so I just pulled the couch forward and he ran out and he went upstairs again. I'm like, okay, at least he's on the right level now. And I went on the table behind the deck door. Like when you open it, it's behind that. So I'm like, crud, that's why he keeps getting trapped, because he keeps ending up behind the glass and he doesn't know how to go around. So I started talking to him. I'm like, oh, I for sure saw that it was Cheese. I started talking to him. I was able to pet him on the head very softly, and I just picked him up. I just grabbed him under his arms and just carried him over to the door and set him out. And he was so relieved. He was like, oh, you could just tell. He was like, oh. He ran onto the deck and was like, poor guy. What a traumatic way to start your day, right? For all of us. So then after that, I was like, I do not have very much time to get ready. And today, of course, we have a presentation tonight for the parents. Second grade is at 7. Actually, the parents go to the cafeteria for something about our Title I program for a half an hour. Then they come to our classroom. But we're supposed to be in there at 7 in our classroom ready. I'm like, this is not the day. This is not the day to start out behind and feeling and anxious and freaked out, just like the cat was. So yeah, I'm not getting to school as early as I wanted to by any stretch of any imagination. But I will get there before contract time, so that's the important thing. It's not raining right now, that's good. But it looks like it could. Just a rough day. So that's my antics for the morning. I hope your morning was better and less stressful. Oh, it's still going to be a good day. We got that situation taken care of. Hopefully Cheese will just calm down and he'll probably take a big nap today and be fine later. So I think I've decided that I'm going to go to Walmart after school because I'll have like a 3-hour gap before I need to be in my room again. And I don't want to drive back and forth to where I live because that's just a waste of gas. And it's going to be close to an hour back and forth. It's like 50 minutes round trip. And I'm like, that's silly when I could do things. So I'm going to go to Walmart, get a few things that we need grocery-wise. I need some frozen lunches. I need some frozen breakfast. There are a few other things I put on my list. We need canned cat food. I mean, there's always something. And I thought I'd just kind of poke around a little bit. Maybe grab Subway for dinner and have that. And then I considered maybe wearing something different to school than changing. I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. So I'm wearing what I'm going to wear tonight. I have a dress on from Old Navy that says khaki color and a little sweater, very, very light sweater because it's going to be in the 80s today, from Maurice's. And I have these earrings, necklace, and bracelets from Cato, I believe. Probably. And then this ring is from Walmart. These are all from like several years ago. The dress is from last year. The sweater's from a couple years ago. So I just put it all together. And I have some crocheted sandals on, which look really cool. They kind of go with this. And I'll show you that later because I can't obviously take my shoes off while I'm driving. But just in case I don't get to like show you the whole outfit, because I'm not going to have time before contract time starts, probably when I get to my classroom. I'll try to remember to show you later, but it might not cross my mind because of all the things I'm thinking about doing. I'm going to head to school and get myself ready for the day. My kids are going to play an odd and even spinner game this morning to review the odd and even lesson we did for Go Math yesterday during our power hour time, because we're not doing power hour yet. So I'm trying to do math things during that time, so they're used to doing math then, which these guys would be because they had power hour last year in first grade. And then in the afternoons when we're going to have our literacy time, I'm doing literacy things, and then it just falls right into line with what we'll be doing when we start the programs. So it's going to work out great. But I'm liking having this extra time to get them started on some partner games and some review things so that they can practice more of their math skills because they're very rusty. All right, I will check back in with you later and let you know how everything is going. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, August 28th. And I am so sorry that I didn't get back on the camera yesterday. I ended up being really busy. Didn't have time to jump on at all. I got home at 9 o'clock last night because the presentation that I did, I started late because I only had one family come, so I was just chatting with them, and I should have just started right on time. So that ended up putting my presentation a little bit longer, and then I had to get my computer packed up and everything. And then I ended up having to swing by my Walmart here on the way home to get some things for Caitlin that she wanted, that she didn't tell me about when I went to the other Walmart before the meeting. So whatever. So anyway, got home at 9, got ready for bed. I had gone to Subway at Walmart and grabbed a sandwich, so I ate that, half of it, before the meeting. So I saved the other half for today's lunch. That'll be nice. And sorry, the sun is really bright right now. Anyway, and I didn't show you my outfit. I'm so sorry. I've worn that dress before from Old Navy, but it's been since last school year. Today I should be able to show you what I'm wearing because I'm leaving earlier than I did yesterday, and I don't have all this stuff to prepare today. So it should be good, but just to let you know, I'm wearing black capris. I'm wearing some sandals with some beads on them. And this shirt that I'm wearing is from Maurice's from several years ago, and this bracelet is from there from several years ago. My ring is from Walmart from several years ago. Are you sensing a theme? And this jewelry is also from Maurice's from several years ago. So the only thing I'm wearing that's new are my pants. Everything else I've had for a while. So it is hump day, and I'm really tired, and I woke up around 4 with a headache in the back of my head again, which that must be like tension or something. So my husband was sweet and got up and got me some Excedrin and a few chips to eat before I took it, because that upsets my stomach if I don't eat something. That has helped a little. I also took an allergy pill this morning. We'll see if that helps my head. It's not supposed to rain until Friday though, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it's a pressure front coming through. I don't know. But we're supposed to have a high of 83 today, which doesn't sound too bad. but 83% humidity. Ugh. So my buddy teacher and I chose an extra recess together in the mornings, and we've both been going out because it's nice to have someone to talk to, like tall talk, adult talk. But we decided yesterday that it would be kind of nice if we would just kind of switch off who had recess duty, and that way we'd have like another 20 minutes to do things, because there's, especially at the beginning of the year, you always have these things prepare. Like I have things like little word booklets for my reading groups and just little things like that. So we decided we would just do every other day, since it's only 4 days a week, because on Fridays we only have the one recess because it's a shorter day. So I'm going to take recess duty today and she'll take it tomorrow, and then next week we'll just, you know, flip-flop back and forth. And we're doing the same thing with late bus duty. We've kind of got the kids trained. We were in her room last week, we're in my room this week. So starting next week, we'll both start out in the room, and then the other one can go back to their room and work. And then when it's time to load buses, the other one will come back, so that we have a teacher at the front of the line and a teacher at the back of the line, because we have a lot of students and we have to go down 3 flights of stairs. And if you're in the front of the group, you have no idea what's going on at the back. Absolutely none. So we need crowd control. So we are going to do that. I think that'll be really nice. The kids have been really good. I mean, we let them know our expectations, and we've been reinforcing them. And I just basically say, it's like movie theater rules, guys. Because we usually watch like a Magic School Bus or an Arthur, because we have like 50 kids. So they've done pretty well. There are a few outliers, always, that want to chit-chat the whole time, which kind of makes it hard for everyone else to hear. So I've just reminded them, guys, it's just like the movie theater. If you're disrupting, you know, people's enjoyment, you'll have to sit out in the hallway, and one of us would just stand and make sure that we can watch them. But no one has been sent to the hallway, so that's good, because nobody wants to be out there and be bored for 20 minutes. It's not fun. But there are just a lot of kids, and some of them just have a lot of energy still, even though it's the end of the day, and I figured they would kind of be done too. By Friday, they're kind of done. They're just kind of like, oh. So it's been going pretty well, though. So like I said, we're going to switch off and on our recesses and our late bus duty so that we can have a little more time to work, which will be nice. And every once in a while, we might be like, hey, they're being extra whatever today. Why don't we have both of us out there or whatever? But I'm sure it's going to be great, especially for recess. Our 2 classes have been really playing well. The first few days, we kind of had to remind, we don't climb up the slide, we don't jump off the swings, yada yada, we don't grab people when you're chasing them, whatever. So after a few reminders, they were good, because they've been doing this is their 3rd year on the playground. So they know the rules, and we already went through the expectations as a school last week. So it's just reinforcing them. So, you know, every once in a while you might have a student that forgets, and you go, oh, have a seat over here and think about that, and we'll talk about it, and then you can go play some more. But we don't have any students that are mean. They've been getting along really well and just enjoying being out there. So it's been really nice. I took my umbrella out with me yesterday because the sun is just right on you the whole time, and there's no shade out there. So the first time I took it out, the kids were like, is it raining? And I had forgotten that I had the umbrella in my hand, and I'm like, no, why? And they're like, they looked at my umbrella, I'm like, oh, this is my portable sunshade. Because like the kids can go under the slide and things and under the play structure to get shade, but I can't hang out under there. I have to be able to see everything. So I just walk around with my little umbrella. It's just got smiley faces all over it. Kids were like, you don't have a pineapple one? I'm like, no, not a big one, because this one's really big. And honestly, it's a freebie that I got from Walmart when they were promoting their Walmart store card. And so I have 2 of them. I have one in the car that I keep all the time, and I have one in my classroom. That way, theoretically, I'm never caught out in the rain. Well, tell me if I remember to bring it back to the car sometimes. No. Sometimes it stays in the house, which that doesn't help. But I do my best to try to keep one accessible. And that way I'm prepared. But yes. So on the agenda today is some social studies. So I'm going to be using an ebook that comes from Education in an Apron, Lanisha Tab. And she's got an ebook just outlining what social studies is, because I think the kids will be surprised all of the things social studies encompasses, because we're so used to social studies just basically being where things are on the planet. And no, that's geography. That's a portion of social studies, but there's so much more. So I'm going to read the ebook with them, and then I have a little flip book for them to start working on. And we'll have a little extra time today. After that, that can go into our language time too, because they'll be doing some writing and things. And so I think that's going to be great. I learned that after I cut all the pages out and put it together, that you don't really have to cut the whole thing out. If you just cut the bottom off, because it's a tabbed book, one of those, tiered ones that have levels. If you just cut the bottom off, you can leave the margins on the sides and it's fine. So I'm going to show them that. That will be less cutting and less work for them to put the book together. But there was no way that I was going to cut apart 20 books and staple them. They can do that. And it's good practice for their hands to cut anyway. So probably today I will have them cut the book apart and I'll staple it, and then they can start writing in it as we work through it. So this won't be done today because there are lots of sections to it. So after every little component of social studies, there's a little space for them to write like questions they have about that or things they'd like to learn in that type of a unit, which will be interesting to find out. As I mentioned before, our informational meeting last night with parents, I had one family come. And I just think that by the time that parents get to second grade, a lot of them are kind of like, I kind of know the score. I know how things work. They're not too worried about it. And a lot of people are busy. And since the second grade one started at 7, I wonder if some of them were already involved in something at that point, like a sport type thing, or like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever. Or maybe they were getting their kids ready for bed. I don't know. There are lots of reasons why people wouldn't come. But I enjoyed the family that came. I felt bad that I kept them late though. I should have just started right on time. But I just kind of chit-chatted with them. I was really kind of stalling a little bit to see if people were just running a little bit late. Because I would hate for someone to just have to miss part of the presentation. But I did make copies of the slide. It's just a PowerPoint. So I made copies of it so they had the slides they could look at home. So I made enough for everyone. So I figured I'd just send them home. And that way, all of the other families that weren't able to come, they'll still have the same information. They'll get it. They can read. And they can refer to it, as like our manual of our classroom. So it'll be fine. Oh my goodness. My students are great. I'm really loving this class. And once we get some of the blurting under control, it's going to be even better. And even the people that blurt, they're not mean kids. They're not obnoxious kids. I mean, it's really hard for me to deal with mean kids because I just don't get why you would be mean to other people. I just don't. And it's hard to fix that because there's a reason they're mean. They're coming from a different perspective, and it's hard to fix that. But like the blurting, if you can just, explain to the students, we all need to be able to hear, and we need to be respectful of others' listening time. They're not doing it. Whoa! I almost just saw an accident right in front of me, people. There are little side roads that go across the highway here. And I had this big truck just pass me. Here's another one. I don't like being a sandwich. Anyway, there was not that kind of a truck, but, like a delivery truck or whatever. Might be a gravel truck. I don't know. Passed me, and they were in front of me for a little bit, and then a pickup truck, went right in front of them as they were getting back into the lane, and it was just a little close for my comfort. Yikes. Anyway, I am getting close to being at school, so I will talk to you when I get there.
Okay, here's my outfit of the day.
Good afternoon. I'm headed home. It is about 10 till 5. We got out of our staff meeting pretty quickly today. That was really nice. I think all of us are very tired because all of us had the informational meetings to do last night. I'm just already worn out for the week. I got a lot done today though. So I've been working on making my arsenal of Fluency booklets for every level of my reading students. And I will share the link for all of those. They're from Reagan, Tunstall, and I used them in first grade, but I didn't get very far into them because they can go quite high on the word list. It's fry word lists. There's a set that's the first 500 fry words, and then I didn't even know she'd made another set, but there's like set 2 that's the next 500. So I'm thinking those would be great for my higher readers. So my lower readers could use some work on their earlier sight word fluency, and then my higher readers could use some work on their higher sight word fluency. She also has one that's blends and digraphs and like bossy R words, which I would like to get that set too. I'm hoping that maybe she'll have a sale again, because I didn't even think about that when the TpT sale was on, but I would like to get those 2 sets. I have the first sight word fluency set, but I would like to get the second one for my higher readers, and I would like to get the one I just talked about, the blends, digraphs, and bossy R. I would like to get that too. I do have her short vowel word families and her long vowel word families, so I think that'll be nice too. But I would like all of them, once I figure out, what they need, all of them could use something. And that's a good warm-up when you first start your reading group. Let them do that for like a minute, because fluency is important. And these have a list of words, and then there is a list of phrases that use those words that you typically would see in books. And what I would do is I would practice them with the students first until they kind of got the hang of it, and then they could keep them in their book boxes and read them during reading time so they could practice them. Every once in a while we'd have a friend practice day, like right before I listened to them. If they thought they were ready for like a fluency test, I would have them practice with a friend and have the friend listen to them. So when they read with me, I mark in the little box at the bottom of the page when they were fluent on that list, and then they get to stamp the little circle with that list number on their cover. And that was a big deal in my first grade classroom. Oh my goodness, you'd think I'd given them a bag of puppies and a huge lot of candy too, because they were super excited to use those dot markers. So I think these second graders will like it too. They really liked using the dot markers on those consentograms that I did at the beginning of school. So I got the whole set of the sight word fluency books. I got all 5 sets of them printed and copied, but not assembled. Now I will tell you, I've had these for a long time, and they are so much easier to assemble now. It used to be you had to cut them apart and stuff for them to work right. But Reagan Tunstall has reworked them, and now all you do is print them double-sided and fold them and staple. It's amazing. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was talking to one of my second grade teamies that was one of my first grade teamies before. I said, do you remember how hard these used to be to put together? Like they were a pain. Like you had to be like, which side is which? Oh yeah, I have to flip it this way. Oh yeah, I need to cut this apart. Oh yeah. Yeah, so much better now. I'm so glad she did that. I totally forgot to eat lunch today. Yeah, do you ever do that? Just get busy doing things and just forget to eat lunch? Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. I'm a goofball. But I was going to eat the other half of my Subway sandwich from last night, and I just didn't. And I thought, oh, I can eat it later. And there was no later. So I didn't eat it. So I did grab it to bring it home so I can eat it for supper, because if I let it sit another day, the bread is going to be so mushy, soggy. Ugh. And I really won't enjoy it as much as I should. So that's what I'm going to have for supper. Friday is the start of Labor Day weekend. Woohoo! And our district is being so nice and letting us leave early that day. We get to leave an hour early. I'm so excited. Yay! So cool. So we'll be moving Caitlin this weekend, not till Saturday. I don't want to even try to go through the Labor Day traffic on Friday with moving stuff. We'll leave sometime Saturday morning to make the trek to her apartment. And we're thinking that we can probably get everything moved in one car and one bigger pickup truck. Like my husband's going to try to borrow one from his job since he works for Ford. They have a service truck, and it's bigger than his Ranger. It would have a bigger bed, and it might even have a back seat in it. So probably shove all the plants in Caitlin's car. And then the shelves and the stools and things that she got in her auctions and Facebook Marketplace adventures. Plus her dishes and some clothes and just, you know, all the things that you need for living in an apartment. Now, some of the things she left in Kansas because her nursery that she works for had a shed so she could store things in there. So she brought all her food with her home, but like things that she didn't have to have, like her towels and stuff like that, she left there. So that helped a lot. And then she was able to bring everything she needed to in one carload. That's why I didn't have to go that day a few weeks back. Whew, my goodness. It feels like it should be Friday just from the tiredness level. And I feel like I say that every day. But the beginning of the year is just really, it's just tiring. It really is. Because you're getting all the things started. And it's just kind of tiring to get everything going. But it's, you know, you got to take it slow. You got to teach your expectations. You know, we've been practicing. Because you don't want to deal with things that are not going to work very well all year long. So you got to take care of them right at the beginning and not let any slack happen. Because if you let them do something that you don't want to happen and you don't really do anything about it, they're going to go, oh, well, we got away with that. Let's see what else we can do. I am going to go in and put on my comfies and say hi to my kid who's not going to be here much longer because we're going to move her this weekend to Kansas. But not that I wanted her to be sick, but because she was sick, she has stayed a week longer than she was going to. So that's been nice to have the time with her. But I'm glad she's feeling better because that was for the birds, man. Okay, speaking of my daughter, I'm going to go see her now. So I will see you tomorrow.